Welcome to Trading Lounge, the 14th of January, and starting with the DAX. So, look, there's two things that we need to possibly address. One of them is that we have our low in place here already. And the other one is that the current move up here is just a wave 4 here. Okay, and then we'll be moving down for wave 5 here and having the low in place down here. So we need to gather a little bit more evidence with all of this, and this is the same for all of these European markets. So what we have been doing is we have been trading long up into these sections here in most cases, and that's fine. But basically at this stage here, we really need to be out of the market until we've got our next setup here. So if we're going to go long here for the DAX, we really need to have a setup across the 11,000 here. The normal thing is that when the market will come up, have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a correction. And in this case here, the correction can be a bit deeper in this instance, but I'll get to that. So we need that setup, and we need to go along above this high and above this high if this low is in place here. So we do need this to resolve itself in this particular space here. So on the hourly chart here, what we've been doing is looking at this. We know that from the low here, we know that in the physical market, there's just one move up here. In this futures and off market hours, we end up with 3 waves to the upside here. So look, we've been trading long either through here or through here, and we were looking at taking profit at the next level here in most of the indices. However, we've also had our stops here, and in this case we've been stopped out here, and that's fine. So we don't really want to do anything at this particular stage here because we need a setup to be long at this stage. The other thing that I wanted to point out here too is the bullish count here as well for the market. So with the bullish count, with the low being in place here, we could look at this as being wave 1 here and wave 2 here, wave 1 here and wave 2 of the next smaller degree, and then all the way up for the 3rd wave here. And then we'd have the 4th wave pulling back to the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree, and then a move up through here. But I mean, you can trade this up here, but it's not going to get us very far. So we really need to wait for this top to come in place, the first high above the level. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a corrective pattern here. And then we can move long in from that point. But we just need, it's going to take a while for this to play out here, to get a decent trend to the upside. If we're below this trend line through here, well, then we'll have a look at, if there is more downside to this point in terms of that wave 4 being in place and moving down from that point. So the US markets have got higher to move as well, so we'll probably drift higher after this particular correction here. But yeah, it's not really going to give us a nice sort of trade. It's more very extremely short term within this particular space here. So we do have to wait for this. So the other markets that we'll look at will be the same as well. I won't be looking at their bullish count, but we'll have a look at where our trades are up to. So for the UK market here, we've been tracking this up here. And the same goes here. We can look at this as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then the building of a 3rd wave to the upside here. We've been long in here, and we're looking to take profit at 7,000. So you should be out of the market at this stage. So this can also pull back to the 38.2% or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree through here. Sure, it may drop even lower because of this wave 4 being in place, but I don't really sort of have any evidence of that. And I'd also like to see the US markets turn lower as well, and we're not seeing that just yet. I know their trend up is is a corrective rally, yeah, and it will sort of fade as well. But to short this, we would need to have a clear 5 waves down, and that would be pretty much 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and then the rally, then we can short. So in a nutshell, we'd need to see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I know it's a long one, but then the A, the B, and the C back up here. Then that gives us a very confident short to the downside at that point. So we don't want to get trapped in either this little wave 4 here as an alternative, yeah. So we're not going to do anything just here for the time being. As simple as that. And the same for the French market as well. France, so the same thing here as well. If we were looking to the upside here, we'd be looking at the ones and twos in here. Would still have more to play out here for these markets to actually show us that there's a turn in play here, but we're not there yet, and yeah, we're just not there with these. So in this case here, we can look at this in terms of, we can look at this in any way we want. We're just sort of focused on this being wave 1 and 2 here. Nice little 5 wave structure in here, an A and a B and a C for wave 4 that could play out here. And once this is down here, then we could see one more push up to here before fading at that particular stage. So you could go long on this, on this breakthrough, on these highs here. I don't think it's going to get us very far though, but if you wanted to take that, I've just done it in a very thin line rather than one of these thick green lines, because it just means make the position much smaller at that stage. And we expected a correction from number 8 as well. 8's always a profit taking number as such, so we just really need to wait for the setups for all of these. And here we're looking at Italy here, the FTSE MIB, and in this instance here, calling a bit of a low in through here, is that we can have 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. But this could also be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and ending here and dropping much lower from here. But all said and done, if this plays out as this current count that we've got here, then we can look at this market moving down into the 38.2% retracement level, and then moving up here to give us that high. And like I said here before, when we've been looking at this, we weren't really interested in this until this had actually displayed 5 waves here. Then the ABC correction would give us our long trade to the upside at that point, and we can build the trade on this side of the fence here. But there's nothing really much going on in this space here. I mean, if you went long, if you bought the pullback here and went long here, it is risk, because we've only got 3 waves up here, so it can drop further. And if you did trade long here, then because the extension's in wave 3 here, then wave 1 here and wave 5 can be roughly the same length. So it's not a lot in it. So this is just a big sort of churn that's going to go through this space here. So yeah, if you don't need to be in this market, then don't be in it. We'll look at it over here. So I'm just going to leave it at this today. And of course, the US markets, with their current rally, basically the same picture as all of this. We need to clarify and get more evidence of what's going to occur there as well. So yeah, not really a trending market. I know the US are going to be pushing a bit higher. We can expect Amazon to move higher above the 1650, and that will take pretty much everything with it on an emotional little journey. But once this high comes in here in all of these markets, then we have to just sort of wait. So I don't want to get trapped in anything. Alrighty, cheers.